I've always felt that I had to choose between being single, being married, or becoming a sister, and I thought those were the only options.
I think that they look at us and they're attracted to us, not perhaps in the vocation sense, but certainly in the ministry sense.
What would Catherine think about this? Oh, I think she'd be all excited. In fact, in some ways, I think that's how Catherine started.
At least for me, Mercy Association is a way that I can live out my baptismal call.
There's something about the Mercy Order that makes you feel wanted, like you know, we'd really like to have you be part of us. And every single one makes you feel that way.
So it really pulls you into something much bigger than yourself and gives you the support that you need through the community and through this deepening relationship with God to do the ministry.
I try to console the sisters when they get too worried about the drop in the numbers. There are more people, perhaps not more sisters, but there are more people, more hands to do the work.
I feel that the associates are an extension of the Mercy Charism.
An associate is a layperson who is interested in sharing our vision, mission, charism of mercy, and participates in our life and mission on 3 levels. On the level of spirituality, community, and ministry.
A lot of questions at first. They said, "Ma, what are you doing?" It was a little difficult at first to explain to them, no, I'm not going to become a nun, but it's just like a partnership, I guess is the best way I explained it to them.
I like Mercy Associates because I don't consider it a women's group. I certainly don't consider it kind of a PTA or Sisters Little Helpers. I think women or men have a place in the scheme of mercy and what it stands for in today's church.
I kind of feel like those of us that are gathering together around the charism of Mother Macaulay, that part of our call is to be that model of courage and strength and hope for other folks.
I mean, truly, I feel that the Sisters of Mercy are entrusting their values, their charism, their way of life to us, and we take that into our own beings and we become that.
It's open to men and women, and they can also be of another faith, another religion. As long as they're willing to share mercy, they're welcome.
If we want to invite men and women into this, then there has to be a deep purpose for it, not just in name. And
I think the greatest gift that the sisters have given me is the ability to be connected. It's almost like a rootedness.
I like the quiet time and praying with Catherine Macaulay. I got my own little book.
And it gives a spiritual dimension to my life and my work that I couldn't have alone. And I need to be part of something bigger, even though I have a kind of a fierce independence and a happiness and joy of the life that I have. I still need the connections, the family, and the life of being associated.
The association helps me reach an area of spirituality, to go a little bit deeper than just being members of a Catholic church.
I think that Mercy spirituality is not only about contemplation and prayer, but it's also about action.
Some of our Mercy Associates have, through their actual professions, more of a connection with the community than others. I've been blessed to be one of those, being a teacher and being in a Mercy school for many years.
Well, I'm a licensed massage therapist in business with Tina Spencer, another associate in Memphis. And We look at our work as our ministry. We work with a lot of cancer survivors.
I've been a dialysis nurse now for 18 years. I think one thing that the Mercy Association has helped me with is it's given me more of a compassion. Sometimes when you're dealing with chronic illness, you deal with a lot of anger, and it's helped me understand that more.
The Tri-County Health Clinic is a clinic where you can go if you have absolutely no insurance.
The associates have committed to hosting an activity for the residents of Sacred Heart Home.
At the Catherine McCauley Health Center, we serve the needs of the people where they reside. Instead of expecting them to come to us, we have positioned ourselves to be where they are, the people who are in need.
One ministry that my wife is quite vitally interested in and very active in, and I am too, is the St. Vincent de Paul Society, which works directly with the poor.
When I went in, there were 2 men, and now we have 20 people, men and women. We get 60 referrals a month, food and clothing to the homes.
My ministry right now is with the House of Mercy, which is a nonprofit organization, and we're starting a transitional home for women with children. And it seems like it's not only a Nashville problem, it is a national problem all over. And it fits everything about the Mercy Direction Statement.
I get those alerts quite often, and I think it's very important that we keep being alerted to that and being responsive and being responsible enough to make contacts with the people that can do something about it. Writing letters, making phone calls, and demonstrating. I've participated in many marches for many different, causes.
We hear the music of the charism of Catherine McCauley, but we can listen to that music and all dance in a different way to it. We all don't have to necessarily be ministering to the poor directly, but all of us still, in what we do, by supporting each other, we do act upon that charism.
I really believe that everything we do every day is part of the journey. And I think a lot about Mother McCauley because I really, I like it that she just did where she felt led to do, but she did it where she was.
Her idea was to go out to the very poorest of the poor in Dublin and bring in these young girls and children from the streets.
She wanted women that were poor to have a chance to be trained and to do something that would make them feel good about themselves.
She was a woman of means, and she could easily have led a very comfortable life and just stayed home and enjoyed all the amenities, but instead she chose to deprive herself of those amenities to go out and help people who were less fortunate.
And the way in which she went about that, was not as a superwoman, but as just a real woman who was deeply holy, deeply in love with her God, and had an incredible capacity to love people and to see what their needs were.
And I like it that she was a little bit older when she got started, because I was. And
the fact that she originally was a lay person, she was not a sister at the time that she started her work, somehow seems a real connection for us lay associates with her.
Really, the reason that I became a Mercy Associate was because of Catherine McCauley.
Sister Ellicoe said, "Have you ever thought of becoming an associate?" And
Mary kind of him-hawed around and said, well, I have to think it over. And you have to know Sister Ellicoe, but she said, well, then why don't you ask Harold if he would like to become an associate?
I had been in the Sisters of Mercy for about 23 years and left the community in 1983. And I still wanted to feel that I could, be a part of the Sisters of Mercy.
I became interested through a friend that is an associate here, Kathy Moody.
It was Vocation Week at our church, and a sister had come to speak at our Mass. and was telling about the different ways that, you know, you can devote your life to God, be it a priest, a deacon, a sister, and then she got into the areas for lay people. An associate came up and
Deb approached me and she said, I'd like to be an associate with the Sisters of Mercy. And it's like, I was taken off guard. What does that involve?
The process involved, I believe, me writing a letter stating my intent that, you know, I want to become an associate to the Sisters of Mercy, and the process actually began from there.
The orientation process is really a chance for you to gain a better understanding of yourself and to be able to focus your life and to see if mercy is where you belong.
We met with Sister Marilyn Gardemiller and a husband and wife team that are associates from Toledo, and Deb and myself, and shared around different topics at different times.
It was interesting to me that even though I felt comfortable and really in partnership with folks, when I did make the formal commitment and sign my covenant and all that stuff, it really did make a difference. It was kind of like, oh, at last, you know. You just, there was a real sense of coming home, I think.
There's 3 parts to the covenant, one being prayer, and another one being community, and another one being ministry. And they have a couple opening lines for each section, and then you personalize it by putting in your own commitment or
in witnessing to Christ's presence in the world by visiting the sisters in St. Bernardine Home, and in continuing work for the renewal of our parish family through Christ Renews His Parish at Immaculate Conception.
Association is growing. It's growing tremendously. We're up in the thousands in numbers. And that has to be the work of the Holy Spirit.
It's just a mutual, wonderful partnership. And I hope to see it grow and grow and grow. And it doesn't worry me that we don't have people entering 20 at a time each year, because I think our associates will carry that on, and there'll be mercy whether we're around or not.
At the present moment, we are 6 with one pre-associate, and we've continued without any Sister of Mercy here at all at this point. And but Mercy is here, and a lot of people know we're here.
I see the association as bringing a lot of life to our community, and that with the type of collaboration that we need to do in the future in order to keep Mercy alive and moving, that we very much have to seriously cultivate our associate programs.
I would like to think that the commitment that we make to them is a promise to be faithful to them in their journey. And for them, I would see the mutuality of that, them being faithful to their promise to support us, to challenge us, to walk with us.
It's not something that you do to do it temporarily. It's something you make a commitment to. And it's not something you do when you have time. It's something you make time for.
All the associates in our group are very actively involved in ministry, and they also live a very spiritual and a prayerful life. So the added dimension would be community, because we share not only of Catherine's life, but our own lives, our own spirituality that we bring to each other, that we bring to the church.
Walking in tonight, it really floored me that, God, how much I've missed these people and how much I have missed being a part of that community alive, you know, being together. I'm with you in prayer, I'm with you in works, but just being here and being able to touch people and hugging them, that, to me, that's mercy.
My personal journey into mercy, for me, has been an experience of coming home. It's been a coming home to my relationship with God, and it has been a coming home to my understanding of myself and who I am. My truest identity is very much connected to mercy. And because it's become woven into the very fabric of my life, my heart, and my soul, it's real hard for me to separate. I don't know that I could answer that question if I would be here if it were not for Mercy.
What would I say to someone that's considering being an associate? That they would probably spend the best days of their lives being an associate.
I absolutely adore it. And I also like the way that no matter which group you're with, you're all united. I'm part of the Cincinnati community, and I have friends in the Dallas community, and my husband also has an aunt that's a Sister of Mercy in Maine. So it's like we're the Mercies of America.
Actually, it's been very good. Dispatch,